at a conventional sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how to attach your binding. There's so many different ways to do it, but this is my favorite method. So I'm going to ask my camera friend here to just kind of zoom in here. So I'm going to take, and I've got loose threads all over the place right now that, like I said, this is uncut and raw, right? So just ignore all my loose threads. So this is a bias trim or bias binding. I'm going to fold this. This is laying really flat, and the folds are going to be 1/4 inch from each other, and I'm going to finger press that fold in place. Once I get that pressed good there, I'm literally going to move this to a hard surface. And there's all sorts of little tools that you can use for finger pressing if you don't want to use the back of your fingernail. But when I do this, it gives me an X, okay? So I've got my fold there, and I've got my fold there. So this is what I want you to think about. We need to sew these together. I'm going to show you how I test if I have it right. So just imagine that once this is sewn together, this is going to lay, if I sew it from here to here, that's going to lay right. Do you kind of see what I'm looking at there? So that's how I know where I need to sew. I need to sew from here to here. Normally, I would put a pin here and here to stabilize that, but I did not bring pins to my machine. So I'm going to set this right here. This particular sewing machine has a laser where I can actually see the speed down, the pedals on here, where I can actually see where my needle's going to go. I'm going to make sure that my folds are all lined up, right? And I'm just going to sew straight. And I'm just going to use my thread cutter because it's so convenient. Okay, now I want to show you something before I trim my binding. I want to make sure that I did it right. It is actually easy to do that backwards. So this is my test. That's correct. So now I'm just going to fold this over, and with scissors, I'm going to cut 1/4 inch away. I save these ends of binding to use as leaders and enders when I'm quilting. So I have at home, I have just a little fabric container that I made, and it sits behind my machine, and that's what I use. So I'm finger pressing this again, and then I'm folding it like this. So my next step is to go back to the overlock.